Today we're going over 2.7, combining and compositions of functions, part 2. So in general, given any two functions f and g, we start with the number x in the domain and g of g, and then we find the image of g of x. If this number is g of x in the domain of f, we can then calculate the value of f of g of x. Now the result of the new function, it would be h of x, which is just f of g of x. It'll make more sense as we do problems. A lot of the words get mixed together. That is obtained by substituting g into f. And it is called the composition or composite of f and g, and is denoted by f of g, or f composed with g. Now, the whole difference is the type of circle. When it's open, that means you're going to plug it into each other. I'll show you guys examples, not in the next slide, but the slide after, of how it would work. So, composition of functions, you have given two functions f and g. The composite function, we have f composed with g, also called the composition of f and g, is defined by, you can write it two ways. You can write it like this, which is f the composition of g of x, or you can write it like this, which is f, and instead of the x, you put g of x. That means that's what you're plugging into. I personally usually try to write things like this. It makes it easier for me to follow along when I'm doing the problems. But either way of writing it is correct. So for the composition of functions, we have the domain of f composed of g. It's a set of all x in the domain in g such that g of x is in the domain of f. In other words, f composed of g of x is defined whether both g of x and f composed of g of x are defined. And we can picture f composed of g using an arrow diagram in figure 4. All this is saying is that whatever function you have for f of x, if it's being composed by g of x, all we're doing is we're plugging g of x anywhere that there is an x. Again, in the problems, I'll show you guys how it works. So here we have let f of x equals x squared and g of x equals x minus 3. They want us to find the functions f composed of g and g composed of f and their domains. So for this first one, I'm going to go ahead and write f composed of g. I'm going to go ahead and write it my preferred way, which is this one. So what does this mean? I'm going to plug g of x into f. So my f is x squared, right? So instead of x squared, I'll plug in the g of x, so it'll be x minus 3, and we're going to square it. So we're plugging in the whole function back into the x, and then doing whatever it's telling us to do. Now x minus 3 squared can be rewritten as x minus 3, and it's going to be, after following it, x squared minus 6x plus 9. Now, looking at this quadratic equation, just like you guys had for your last test, this would be an all real numbers domain. Or I'm just going to go ahead and write negative infinity to positive infinity. So all you're doing is plugging it in. Now, if they're asking it backwards, which is the case for g composed of f, or again, my preferred method of writing it would be g, and then f of x inside of g. I'll plug in the x squared into the x, so it's going to be x squared minus 3. Now, because the x minus 2 doesn't have anything and it's just an x, I can just go ahead and write x squared minus 3. And again, we are in the same thing as we did for last test, which the domain would be from negative infinity to infinity. Writing it down, it will be f of g of 5 is going to equal to 4. This is technically the solution at the very end, how you write it. Now, I'm going to copy the equation we got for g composed of f, which was x squared minus 3. Now, you can go ahead and plug it into there. Or if you don't want to do that, in this case, it's going to be the same, because if we were to plug f into g, it's still going to be x squared minus 3. So I'm going to go ahead and just plug in the 7 squared minus 3. So it would be 49 minus 3. So we get 46. So g composed of f of 7 is going to equal 46. So we have the composition of functions. And it states, you can see the example 3, that in general, when you plug f composed of g, it doesn't equal g composed of x. You saw how we got different numbers and how we got different equations. So remember that the notation f composed of g means that the function g is applied first and then f is applied second. So the way you write it out, you're going to plug in from the right to the left. And it is possible to take the composition of 3 or more functions. So what we did, we can do multiple times over a lot of functions. So for instance, we have the composite function f composed of g h. And it's found by first applying h and then g and then f as follows. So we grab that h and we plug it into g, and whatever we get, we plug it into f. So again, my preferred method is going to be that way because I see how we go from inside of the function and we work our way out. Kinda, it reminds me of pandas because you start with the parentheses, which is what's inside, and then you kind of build your way out. That's maybe why I like it. It's up to you which one you prefer to write. They both mean the same thing. Now for example 5, we have a composition of 3 functions. We have if f of x is equal to x over x plus 1, g of x is equal to x squared, and g of x is equal to x plus 3. They want us to find each individual one. Now we have f of g of x, so we're going to go ahead and plug the g of x into the f of x. So that's going to be, wherever there's an x, we're going to plug in an x squared, so it's going to be x squared over x squared plus 1. Now they're not asking us for the domain, but this would be the way you plug this one in. There's nothing else you can do to it to simplify it, as they're going to be just itself. Now for g of x into h of x into g, we're going to plug the x plus 3 anywhere there's an x squared. So it's going to be x plus 3 squared. Now we actually have to solve it in order to simplify it as much as we can. So we're going to do x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9. So we get x squared plus 6x plus 9. So our g composed of h of x is going to equal x squared plus 6x plus 9. And then we also have h into f. So it's going to be every time there's an x, we're going to plug in x plus 3. So it's going to be x plus 3 over x plus 3 plus 1. So we can simplify this into x plus 3 over x plus 4. And that will be your solution for number 3. Now they want us to plug in different numbers with the same equations we had before. So I'm going to write the equations before we work them out. Here we have f composed of g composed of 3. So the f of x and the g of x are the same ones we had before. So you guys can either grab it from what we did before, or you can plug it in as we want. Now, let me write in what f of x is. F of x was x over x plus 1. G of x was x squared. So let's go ahead and, if we were to plug it in, we'll get the same thing we had before, which was x squared over x squared plus 1. You can do it a few different ways. You can plug it into here. I'll do this path first, which is plugging in the 3. So it'd be 3 squared over 3 squared plus 1. It's going to be 9 over 9 plus 1, which is 9 over 10. So this would be one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is plugging the 3 into the x squared first. So if we do that second way, it would be 3 squared first, so we get 9. And after we get the 9, we plug it back in. So we get 9 over 9 plus 1, which will give us 9 over 10. Which again, they're going to be exactly the same. It's up to you what you prefer. As long as you plug it in the correct order, you will get the same answer. So for number 5, we have g composed on f. So we're going to plug f into g of x, which of negative 2. So again, we can do it 2 different ways. The first one being you can plug it in everything. Okay, so we can either plug it in like I was mentioning. So it's going to be x over x plus 1 squared. When you plug in the negative 2 is negative 2 over negative 2 plus 1 squared. We end up with negative 2 over negative 1 squared. We end up with positive 2 squared, which is just 4. Like I was doing for the other one and earlier for this one, when you're plugging negative 2 into the f first, you're going to get negative 2 over negative 2 plus 1 to negative 2 over negative 1. So we get positive 2. We plug that positive 2 into the g of x, so it's going to be 2 squared. And we end up with 4. So you're going to get the same answer both times. It doesn't matter which way you prefer. Now for the last one, let's write what h is. H was x plus 3. G of x was x squared. And f of x was x over x plus 1. Now, they want us to do f of g of h. So, you can either do, well, we got to plug h into g. So, it's going to be, the first step would be this. So, it would be x plus 3 squared. So, it's going to be x plus 3, x plus 3. So we get x squared plus 6x plus 9. And then after, since we have g of x of h of x, we can plug that into f of x. So it's going to be f of g of h of x. We're going to plug the x squared plus 6x plus 9 into every time there's an x. So it's going to be x squared plus 6x plus 9 over x squared plus 6x plus 9 plus 1. That's going to give us x squared plus 6x plus 9 over x squared plus 6x plus 10. And then you can plug in that 2. So you would get 2 squared plus 6 times 2 plus 9 over 2 squared plus 6 times 2 plus 10. So that's going to be 4 plus 12 plus 9 over 4 plus 12 plus 10. So that's going to give us 16 plus 9, 16 plus 10. So we're going to end up with 25 over 26. Now you could have done that, which was plugging in all of the x's first. The other way you could have done it is plugging in that 2 into h. So it's, you can plug in the 2 into the h first to get 5. So this is h of x. And you can plug the 5 into g of x. So you get 5 squared, which is 25. And you plug the 25 into the f of x. And you end up with 25 over 25 plus 1, which gives you 25 over 26. So you can also plug them in one at a time and still match it. Sometimes it'll be easier, sometimes it'll be harder. Do you have another example, which is in the completed notes, but not on your notes, which is f composed of g composed of h. If we have f of x equals x over x plus 1, g of x is equal to x to the 10th power, and h is equal to x plus 3. They want us to find the f of composed of g composed of h. So in other words, f of g of h of x. And again, we can either do it plugging, in this case they wanted it with x, so we have to start plugging back. So we're going to start plugging the h into the g. So it's going to be x plus 3 to the 10th power. Now, I'm not expecting you guys to solve this because that's a lot of foiling. So for now, I just leave it as x plus 3 to the 10th power. And then that, we're going to plug it back in, this whole thing, into the f of x. So we end up with x plus 3 to the 10th power over x plus 3 to the 10th power plus 1. Now, just because this is a really big power, you guys are not going to get such a big power on the test. You'll at most get something like the power of 3. So for that, we do expect you guys to FOIL. But for the classwork right now and the notes, I'm not going to FOIL times the whole thing times 10 to the 10th power, just because it would be quite a little bit of work. And we might not be able to finish on time. So the last example is, I'm going to call it example 7. I have no idea what example number we are, so we're just going to be example 7. It's recognizing a composition of functions. So you have given function f of x, but with a capital F, which is the 4th root of x plus 9. And they want you to find functions of f and g such that the function f is composed of f composed of g. So that means we plug g into the function. Now, there's a few different ways that you're going to do it. The way I personally find the easiest is that, let me just first rewrite this. The way I find it the easiest is to use the parent function as my basis. So we have the 4th root of x plus 9. So that means if I'm plugging g of x into f of x, I'm going to say, well, the g of x, I'm going to say it's x plus 9. And then I'm going to say that the f of x is the parent function, which is the 4th root of x. That is the easiest way for you guys to be able to separate them. Always look for a parent function, and then whatever is the transformation or whatever is different from the parent function is what would be your transformation, or in this case, the g of x, which is what we plugged into. You guys are welcome to start working on your homework. This is it for today's notes.